Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stmaina Warden PvP build Wooden Slayer for the Elsweyr patch. This build is focused on solo to small scale PvP, and let's jump into it. For the gear we're running Bloodspawn, 2 medium, and then Fury Legion on the body and jewelry. Important is only the 7th Legion front bar weapon, because 7th Legion only procs every 2 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds. On the back bar we're running Black Rose dual wield that provides us, when used, Blade Cloak with major protection for 3 seconds. Additionally, you can use Master Axes on the back bar for a bit more single target pressure, like in a duel scenario, etc. As traits we're using all impenetrable, and on the jewelry 2 infused weapon damage with a protective stamina recovery. As a mundus we are using the warrior, and on the back bar we are running Nirnhound and infused. The enchantment on the Nirnhound is up to you. On the infused one you want to have the weapon damage enchantment. Front bar weapon Nirnhound with and poison this time. I have different poisons you can use on the bar. I will all post them down in the description below. This poison I like the most because it inflicts the enemy with minor maim that reduces their damage, and it gives us minor brutality that increases our damage. It also gives drained stamina, what gives us 238 stamina per second for 4 seconds, and that is the reason why I also went with an absorb stamina glyph on my Nirnhound bar. So just we bulk up a bit more stamina recovery while we are investing a lot in weapon damage and reducing our stamina recovery. So overall our stamina recovery is really high because we're running heavy, we're running absorb stamina glyph and a poison. Plus on top of it we're running the essence of immovability that gives us major endurance on top of it. As another potion that you can use is Essence of Immovability, the Detect variant, that gives us Magicka. Magicka is not that ideal anymore, but it gives us immune to knockback and disabling effects like the other potion what we use, so we still have the uptime on CC immunity. As food we're using Artium Takeaway Broth that gives us health recovery, and since we're in heavy it boosts it up quite a lot. And then major endurance and major fortitude bulk our recoveries up again. As a viable cheaper option in food is Dubious Cameron Throne, still viable, still fine. Now let's go into the skills. For skills we're using Cutting Dive. I choose Cutting Dive over Dizzy Swing because I don't like the Dizzy Swing lock animation when you encircle an exhibit. Plus Cutting Dive also has range and it's an instant cast. Reverse Slice is our cookie cutter execute. Subterranean Assault works perfectly together with the Dawnbreaker ultimate and the Reverse Slice because it hits multiple opponents at the same time. Subterranean Assault also gives major fracture and it makes a lot of damage. Vigor on the front bar, because we want to have the vigor on the bar with the most weapon damage from which it procs from, and also we want to stay long on the front bar. For momentum, removes all snares and immobilizations and grants us immunity for 4 seconds, plus it gives us major brutality. I wouldn't spam this skill all 4 seconds, but I will explain this later. And then we have Dawnbreaker of Smiting, that's our main bust, provides us with the most damage possible, especially against vampire and werewolves that are really annoying, especially werewolves especially against werewolves that pressures a lot with a lot of bleeds, and also gives us a damage tick. On the back bar we're running Black Rose dual wield at this point, and therefore we have Shimmering Shield on the back bar that absorbs up to 3 projectiles while casted, so in between 6 seconds, and each time a projectile gets absorbed, you gain Magicka back and Major Heroism for 6 seconds, granting you 3 ultimate every 1.5 seconds. Then we have Quick Cloak. It gives us Major Evasion for 15 seconds, Major Expedition for 4 seconds, and it procs our backbar enchantments, like our weapon damage enchantment, on cooldown because it ticks every 3 seconds. Now the good thing about that is means we don't have to stay on a backbar or light attacking from the backbar. On top of it, because it's Black Rose, it gives us Major Protection for 3 seconds every time we cast it. So we have Major Protection and Major Expedition for around about 3 seconds. Very good line of sighting tool. Next skill is Bullnedge. It gives us 300. Next skill is Bullnedge. It gives us 200 recovery, stamina recovery, and Major Sorcery, Major Brutality. But since we have Major Brutality already covered from Forward Momentum, it is still really good for Major Sorcery, since it increases the healing from Leeching Vines and Green Lotus. Our fourth skill on the back bar is Leeching Vines. Now last time on my video I messed it a bit up because I was reading and talking at the same time. Now let me explain how this skill works correctly. First of all, if you cast it, an enemy gets minor lifesteal. If you attack this enemy, you get health every second while you are attacking it. Now the other morph, the other function of Leeching Vines is you cast this either on you or an ally. It says the lowest health ally, but I've seen the people that have more health than me get Leeching Vines when they're in front of me. But the good thing is you can cast it twice. You can cast it on a friend and then turn away from everyone so that in front of you is no one. Cast it again and you have it. So the first effect counts twice if you do this that way. The next effect, the next skill on our bar is Ice Fortress, and it gives us for 24 seconds minor protection, reducing our damage taken by 8%, and Major Ward Resolve, giving us spell and physical resistance of 50 to 80 for 24 seconds. As an ultimate on the back bar, we're using Healing Thicket. You could choose the other morph, but I like that one more, especially in this line of sight moments, and with our Major Protection, Major Expedition. We can line of sight, deploy our ultimate and run in the ultimate around while line of sighting, and it provides us a lot of healing. Now as flex spots, we can use here Dizzy instead of Cutting Dive, and on the back bar obviously we can use Quick Cloak, or if we have Master Dual Wield we can use here Rending Slashes. Or you can even, if you use Master Dual Wield, use Quick Cloak instead of Shimmering Shield when you are in a medium large group, let's say around 5 to 7 people. Other than that, I would still run this setup. As an ultimate on the back bar we can also use Permafrost, but it's not recommended if you run in fewer than 3 people in a group or even solo. As passives, you want to have all class passives. You want 2-hand passive, dual wield passive, heavy armor passives, medium armor all besides agility. Guild passives, you want Fighter's Guild, Undaunted. In Alliance War you want to have all passives. In support only the last 2, racial, all, and then crafting passives, alchemy, medicinal use. Now I got asked a lot which races I would recommend for a Stmaina Warden or my builds in general. Now I will address this out and will probably make a racial guide for Stmaina Warden by itself. But in my opinion the best race is Nord, followed by Orc, followed by Redguard, followed by everyone and everything else, like Dark Elf, Khajiit, Wood Elf and so on. Now let's go into the CP. I didn't change anything in the CPs from my last build, at least not from what I know of, so I will just skip real fast through it. Just pause the video if you want to see the passives so you can change it on your own build. That were the passives. So, in general, you want to play this build basically as a tank. So you have a lot of long duration buffs like Leeching Vines, Bone Edge, Ice Fortress and Forward Momentum. Now there's the next buff that is Blade Cloak. So your buffs have all a duration of 10 seconds and longer. You want to have all these 4 buffs on the back bar active at all times. That being Blade Cloak, Bone Edge, Leeching Vines and Ice Fortress. On the front bar only Forward Momentum, and then recast it when you are about to get snared or immobilized. Cast Vigor every 5 to 6 seconds, and that's about it. If you get sniped and you are low on Magicka, what skills you want to press are Shimmering Shield first, because it gives you, when you get sniped, Magicka back. Being said, after a short amount of time, maybe 2-3 seconds, you can then cast Leeching Vines, then press Vigor again. You want to stay as long as possible on the front bar as well, so just use it. Play this build as you would play in PvE a dynamic rotation. You stay on the front bar, you're weaving subterraneans all the time, and then, oh, there's a buff, let's press the buff, and then go again on the front bar and stay on the front bar. Like I'm showing you. And as for an offensive rotation, make sure that all your buffs are running. Go for a Subterranean, maybe a heavy attack, maybe 2 birds, into a Dawnbreaker, into an Execute. That is basically the offensive rotation. The defensive rotation is nothing else than just keeping up your buffs, press Vigor every 5 seconds, and kite around and stay on your front bar. That's basically it. Also, the being on your front bar part opens us up to press more snare removal at all times, while pressing a new buff, snare removal, we can press 2 buffs, with Vigor and then snare removal. I hope that you like this build. If you do, just press a like, it helps me out a lot. If you don't like it, just press a dislike. I'm not judging you. All the potions and poisons being able to use with the build will be all posted down in the description. I also have a Discord, you can join it if you want, and I think I will see you next time. Peace out.